And that's how I look at it. What makes him get more respect than me? You my next door neighbor, you know what I tell him? You got yours from your family. I got mine from the ground up, from hard work and dedication.
Floyd Mayweather is one of the greatest ever. He's a brilliant defensive fighter. His speed, his boxing savvy. He's just a savant. He's just something special, no question about it. But I gotta look at the Sugar Ray Leonards of the world.
Floyd's way is safe. Not in a punk, but it's like the safe way, like nothing ain't gonna go wrong. But that's how he fight. That's his characteristic.
Floyd Mayweather has erupted after Stephen A. Smith questioned his legacy and claimed Terence Crawford could beat him. On air, Stephen A. argued that Mayweather is not the greatest fighter of all time, pointing instead to Sugar Ray Leonard as the superior talent. He added that Floyd's best wins were at lightweight, suggesting he never truly dominated the higher divisions. Smith even brushed off Mayweather's win over Canelo as overrated, a take that instantly lit a fire under Floyd, who isn't known for staying silent when his place in boxing history is challenged.
Just about your skill set. It's who you do it against.
Your level of competition. Is it possible that he's so far beyond his level of competition that he made it look easy?
Well, I think he did as a lightweight. When he went up to the welterweight division, not so much. You know what I'm saying? Now, if
taking out Canelo the way he took out.
Well, he just gave him a boxing lesson, but Canelo was 22 years old. See, I remember
That's an excuse, though. I don't like this, like he's 22, he's too young.
I will tell you this. Well, you know, you do have to take that into consideration.
The guy had 100 fights.
Well, let me explain.
22.
You have to take that into consideration when boxing is the issue. Now, if he got knocked on his ass, that's different. But when he simply got schooled when you swinging a punch and Floyd is tapping you on your shoulder saying, I'm behind you, that's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a skill, like, you know,
But we could credit Floyd with that.
Of course, I am crediting. I'm saying he's a brilliant boxer. You know, Floyd knew how to move before you even threw the damn punch. You see what I'm saying? You gotta be a veteran to know how to overcome that. You can't put a novice into the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather. You understand? He's going to school you. What I'm saying to you is that if you want to make an argument on Floyd Money Mayweather's half, which I'm not summarily dismissing, I would tell you it's this. Floyd Money Mayweather was undefeated for the last half of his career with one hand. He constantly broke his hand. He constantly broke his hand.
Wood Bey offered a thoughtful breakdown when comparing Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford after Crawford's dominant win over Canelo Alvarez. While Bey admitted that, as a fan, he slightly favors Crawford in a hypothetical matchup, he cautioned against rushing to conclusions. He reminded listeners that Mayweather also dismantled Canelo, doing so at a time when the Mexican star was still developing. Bey argued that writing off Floyd's greatness to elevate Crawford is misleading. Both men brought something unique to boxing. In his view, the truth sits somewhere in the middle. Crawford deserves immense credit for controlling a seasoned Canelo so decisively. But Mayweather's performance against a younger Canelo was just as historic and cannot be ignored.
Bud goes about it a little bit better than Floyd in this sense. Floyd will when Floyd fought Canelo, he was standing right there. He wasn't running and all of that. He wasn't doing all of the stuff that they say, oh, runner, Mayweather's a runner. He wasn't doing that versus Canelo. He was right there. And I can't even really remember Canelo catching him like that, like with nothing. With Bud, I could remember Canelo catching Bud a couple times, but Bud gave him the, all right, put your foot out. What's up? Boxing turn, boxing turn, boxing turn. And was really standing there and giving it to him with another type of energy. The energy is more so all right, what's up? You can't beat me. Floyd energy be bop, bop, I'm better than you. You see what I'm saying? They don't really be respecting that all the time. They'll acknowledge it yo, I ain't gonna lie, he hard to catch. But they be nah, you didn't beat me up. Bud go about his fights in a way where as though the Mexican fan base gotta be I ain't gonna lie, Canelo, he hollered at you. He came at you too. He didn't just be better than you. He was better, and then he was all right, I'm gonna come at you. And I think they really respect that. Shit, I respect it. I don't think it's not, I think the less you get hit, the better. I'm always gonna take it that way. So, you know what I'm saying? As a boxing fan, the kind of boxing fan that I am, I would have leaned towards Floyd's performance, but Bud's performance was if I'm a casual fan, I'd rather watch the way Bud do it.
Trainer Boozy Ennis spoke passionately about Terence Crawford's place in the sport, pushing back on critics who still question his accomplishments. Ennis argued that Crawford has repeatedly proven himself as one of the greatest of his era, not just through talent, but through his willingness to take risks. Unlike many fighters who avoid danger, Crawford has consistently stepped up against the toughest opposition. According to Ennis, that hunger to embrace risk and still dominate is what sets Crawford apart. He urged fans and analysts to stop diminishing Crawford's legacy and recognize him for what he truly is, one of the most versatile, daring, and successful fighters in boxing history.
They got to stop this. He'll tell you that if he had to sit down a little bit more. And what I tell you, Terence can fight and he can box. And he can fight. He'll fight this side. He take chances, man. You know what I mean? And that's how you be great, man. And he one of the greatest out there now. I think he's great. I think he's the best out there right now in that division. You know what I mean?
What's left?
For Terence?
Yeah.
If I was Terence, I would retire. That's what I would do. He did everything, man. He's done everything, man. You know what I mean? You know how many titles he done won? All that stuff, you know what I mean? I think I'll go off on the sunset, man. You know what I mean? You don't need no more money. You know what I mean?
Crawford's longtime trainer, Brian Bo-Mac McIntyre, says the story isn't finished yet. In his eyes, Terence still has 2 or 3 big fights left before even thinking about retirement. Bo-Mac has even floated the idea of Crawford moving up to 160 pounds, not just for belts, but to carve out a legacy that's already Hall of Fame certified. He pointed out that Crawford doesn't need to prove anything anymore. He's already become undisputed across multiple divisions, beaten elite champions, and etched his name in boxing history. But chasing greatness is in Crawford's DNA. Adding championships in higher weight classes isn't about validation. It's about cementing himself among the all-time legends and daring to do what few fighters ever attempt.
The second time. They can't take it away from him, nigga.
Does this one mean more to you than the other ones?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It gives us the opportunity as a team to go into the Hall of Fame. Instead of a fighter going in there, instead of a coach going in there, it gives us a better chance of going there as a team.
Well, congrats on that. I know that means a lot to you and the team.
Definitely that.
You know, I asked Bud this after the fight 2 weeks ago. Would he consider this his signature win? He said, yeah, one of them. Do you think that was his signature win of his career?
Well, the last fight?
Yeah, the Canelo one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was the underdog. Everybody thought that, you know, he was going to get beat.
What's up?
He was going to get beat. It surprised me.
So what's next for Bud? What do you want to see him do?
I just want to see him, you know, spend time with his family because, you know, training for a fight, you be gone a long time. You're going away from the family. And it could take a toll on you after a while. So,
as his trainer, do you feel like he should just sail off into the sunset after this monumental
well,
win?
you know what? He made it look so easy. Shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit, got 2-3 more in him and shit. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Timothy Bradley spoke with real emotion about Terence Crawford's influence on the sport. He said that young fighters often battle self-doubt, especially when critics question their progress or dismiss their potential. Crawford, however, is living proof of what perseverance and determination can achieve. Despite years of skepticism and being overlooked, he silenced every critic with his performances inside the ring. Bradley highlighted how Crawford's rise to becoming a multiple-time undisputed champion across different divisions is more than just a boxing achievement. It's a statement. For him, Crawford isn't only a champion, he's a symbol of belief, courage, and resilience. He's shown the next generation that no amount of doubt or criticism can hold you back if you put in the work. Young fighters now look at Crawford not just as a legend, but as a role model who embodies the spirit of never giving up.
You have become. You're a true inspiration to the youth, man. Anybody that's troubled, any troubled kid out there, man, they can look at you and say, hey, man, I got a fighting chance to get myself out the situation. All I got to do is make that choice. That's what you did, Crawford. You made that choice, man. You made that choice to change, bro. You know, you saw going down, man, years ago, man, in 2008, man, when that bullet came through that window, you knew you had to do something, or you'll end up 6 feet under, bro. You know? So that courage that you had, man, and that will that you had, and that mindset of change, man, and the gym, you know, grooming you and turning you into a man, because that's what boxing does. See, people don't understand, man, that boxing is more than just throwing punches. You know, boxing teaches you discipline. You know, it teaches you love for people, love for others, man. You know, working together. You know, you're there constantly every single day, man. You know, spending time there perfecting a craft, man. Perfecting yourself, understanding yourself, learning more about yourself each and every single day. You push it inside the gym. You know, boxing is more than just throwing punches, man. You know,
Floyd Mayweather's journey went far beyond boxing. As Oladipo explained, Mayweather built two personas that defined his legacy: Pretty Boy Floyd and Money Mayweather. Early on, Pretty Boy was the fearless risk-taker, delivering highlight reel knockouts. Later, Money Mayweather became the ultimate businessman, a defensive master who turned every fight into a global spectacle. His pay-per-view dominance and self-marketing genius made him more than an athlete. Oladipo credited Floyd with creating the blueprint that today's fighters still follow. By blending technical mastery with entertainment, Mayweather didn't just win fights. He became a cultural icon and the architect of boxing's modern economic era.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right?
Despite Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo, debate has erupted about his future. Some insiders, including members of his own team, suggest he should consider retirement now to protect his legacy. Their argument is simple. Crawford has already reached greatness and has nothing left to prove. But not everyone agrees. Critics continue to downplay his win, while others insist he should step aside before his reputation risks fading. At the same time, many fans argue the opposite, believing Crawford still has plenty left in the tank. His recent performances show no decline, and the demand for more high-profile fights has never been stronger. Whether he continues or walks away, one truth remains. Crawford's legacy as one of boxing's all-time greats is secure. His accomplishments are written in history, untouchable by opinion.
Terence Crawford did what he did against Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford made himself the face of boxing, and he did it. He made it look easy. He made the Errol Spence fight look easy. That was supposed to be the toughest test of his career. I thought it was. The whole world thought it was. It was the easiest fight he had at welterweight. I thought, but I've been saying for years that he's gonna easily beat Canelo Alvarez, and he did. But many people expected Canelo to knock him out. That wasn't the case. With that said, now people are trying to throw, he's 38. Tomorrow, Terence Crawford will be 38 years old. He's a 5-division champion. If he wants to stick around, like Terence Crawford stated, okay, Terence Crawford stated, if I do stick around, I'm not dropping down no further than 160 pounds. If he stays in boxing, I say he have 2 more fights. Fight Janibek, who's the unified champion. Hopefully Carlos Adames and Lara fight and unify the belts. 2 fights at 160, pad the stats, become a 6-division champion and a 4-division undisputed champion. Cool. Other than that, Terence Crawford needs to retire.
Trainer Robert Garcia has also weighed in on the Mayweather versus Crawford debate. He reminded fans that while Mayweather's record and career success are unmatched, he never became an undisputed champion. something both Crawford and Pacquiao accomplished. Garcia acknowledged that this makes Crawford's resume historically significant. Still, when it comes to a head-to-head comparison, Garcia leaned toward Mayweather. He explained that Floyd's defense, timing, and ring intelligence would be overwhelming even for someone as skilled as Crawford. For Garcia, what sets Mayweather apart is his uncanny ability to nullify opponents, turning even the most dangerous fighters into hesitant spectators. While Garcia respects everything Crawford has achieved, his perspective is clear. Mayweather's mastery of the fundamentals and his flawless ring strategy place him above nearly everyone, even today's champions.
He doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions, undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more. Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Greg Hackett added another layer to the conversation by directly comparing Floyd Mayweather's performance against Canelo with Crawford's. He argued that when Floyd fought Canelo, he was already the more complete fighter, polished, composed, and nearly flawless across 12 rounds. Hackett explained that Crawford's style is more aggressive and relies heavily on adaptability, but it doesn't quite carry the same level of perfection that Floyd displayed. For him, Mayweather's defensive mastery and ring control remain unmatched in boxing history. Crawford's explosiveness is remarkable, Hackett admitted, but Floyd's calculated brilliance against Canelo represented something closer to perfection. On the other hand, Stephen A. Smith praised Crawford's victory as one of the most entertaining boxing performances in recent memory. He highlighted that Crawford was the smaller man moving up against a bigger, stronger opponent. Yet he completely controlled the fight and made it look one-sided. Smith argued that Crawford not only showed elite skill, but also delivered a spectacle fans will remember for years. According to him, boxing needs fighters like Crawford, champions who combine technical mastery with entertainment value. For Smith, Crawford's win proved he isn't just one of the greats, but also a showman capable of carrying the sport into the future.
But the biggest props of the night goes to Terence Crawford, who did not disappoint. He was supposed to be the smaller man. He was supposed to be the weaker man. He was supposed to be the man that was going to spend the entire night on his bicycle, running for his damn life because Saul Canelo Alvarez was coming his way. That is not what happened. What happened instead, ladies and gentlemen, was a masterclass in boxing by Terence Crawford. Now, to me, the fight, some people were saying it was a severely lopsided and stuff like that. I'm not going for that. I'm not feeling that at all. It wasn't like that at all, okay?
Veteran journalist Dan Raphael offered a long-term perspective on Crawford's career. In his view, Crawford no longer has anything left to prove in boxing. His record already speaks volumes. Undisputed in multiple divisions, victories over elite opponents, and a reputation for dominance that few in history can match. Raphael argued that when fighters reach this level, the focus should shift from chasing validation to protecting their legacy. He warned that pursuing unnecessary fights could risk tarnishing what Crawford has already built. Instead, Raphael believes Crawford should embrace the recognition he has earned, knowing his resume, stacked with historic milestones, has already secured his place among the all-time greats. Whether he continues fighting or chooses to step away now, his legacy as a legend is unquestionable.
But he stood in the pocket, like he's not moving anywhere from him. He's using his head moving, he's not being stupid, but he's not necessarily moving away from Canelo. Like you said, he's walking the, quote-unquote bigger man down and forcing the action rather than going off, reacting to Canelo's attacks. So I think it was such an impressive display. But it sort of begs the question now, when you've a 3-time undisputed champion, and I know money's important, financials, we always talk about that. His legacy is intact regardless. We'll start with Terence. What does a Terence Crawford do now? Like, what's the next thing that he does? Because you look around and go, is the only way that he really gets that ultimate chance if he goes up again? And do you say, what do you do?
I don't quite. Yeah, I mean, you know, he was asked those questions at the press conference. He made two things clear. One, he's not going back to 154, and I say that because some people suggested about possibly pursuing a fight with Ennis, who has his debut in the weight class coming up.
Yeah.
That's probably unlikely. He's not going to go back down in weight. And I mean, no disrespect to Ennis, but Ennis is a guy that's known within the diehards of boxing. He's not in any way known beyond the boundaries of the hardcore boxing fan. So I don't know if that makes sense for a lot of different reasons for him. Not to say I wouldn't, as a boxing fan, enjoy watching the fight. So, but I don't think he's going back to 154. He was asked about like a Benavides at 175, and he acknowledged like that guy is really big. I mean, that's maybe a bridge too far. He already went up to 2 weight classes to fight Canelo at 68. So it feels to me like he can either stay at 168 and defend this championship and look to the same types of names that were being thrown around as the types of guys that would have been in the mix for Canelo had he won the fight.
That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates, and until next time,